Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, abusing That Grass Looks Greener, this time with the big brain deck, Thunder Dragons. Obviously, we are going to be using the skill Baggy Sleeves, which basically just says that whenever a level 5 or higher monster is destroyed by battle, you draw 2 cards during your next draw phase. Pretty freaking awesome, if I do say so myself, especially since a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but you do often have your monsters destroyed by battle, and it does help to draw more cards in order to get into some of the extra cards that you do need, right, and some of the tech cards as well. Now, with that being said, this is the deck that I have been using. We are using tuners and artifacts to kind of help us with our base idea, right? With Thunder Dragons. Thunder Dragons are pretty weak by themselves because right now we don't have any fusions or anything like that. And the fusions are really what make it super good in the TCG and one of the top tier decks. But at the moment, we don't have any of those fusions or anything like that. So instead, we're using tuners such as Plague Spreader Zombie and Watt Fox to synchro summon into some of these really powerful, just kind of generic synchros, right? Now, with that being said, if you have something like Jet Synchron, or if you have more Plague Spreader Zombies, highly recommend using those instead. As for me, I don't have any Jet Synchrons, and I just have the one Plague Spreader Zombie. But Plague Spreader Zombie, Jet Synchron, two of the better Synchro materials. And then again, if you also have Brionnic as a Synchro Monster, that's also really good because it is a level 6, which can be used with your level 5 Thunder Dragon Dark in order to Synchro Summon. And then you can discard cards, which are also pretty good, in order to return cards back to the opponent's hand. So, there's that. But, let's talk about the deck real quick. First of all, Thunder Dragon Hawk, discard to special summon a banished or in the graveyard. Thunder Dragon Dark, you can discard it to add another one. Thunder Dragon Roar, you can discard it to grab up another Thunder Dragon card. These are your core cards for the deck. Obviously, if you have 3 Thunder Dragon Hawks, run 3. They're pretty freaking useful, right? You don't have to have all the artifacts, right? You don't have to have double artifact Lancier or Vajra. These are just kind of tech cards to basically to use. They're good hand traps kind of thing. Now, all of these monsters also have effects when they are banished or destroyed from the field, right? If this card is banished or in your graveyard, if this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon a Thunder Dragon into defense position from your deck, and then it returns to your hand. So this one, you banish it, you summon up your Thunder Dragon Hawk, then you grab your Hawk back to your hand at the end of that turn. Pretty good, pretty useful. This card, if it is destroyed or banished, if it is on the field and destroyed, sent to the graveyard, or if it is banished, you can shuffle cards from your hand to your deck and then draw the same number of cards. Pretty good. This one, if it is banished, you can grab up any Thunder Dragon card. Pretty good. Now, one thing you're probably noticing is that we aren't using... Oops, hold on. I forgot. We aren't using the 100 Thunders. Thunder Dragon 100 Thunders. Now, why are we not using this incredibly powerful card that you would normally use in a 20 card or even a 30 another variety of the 30 card Thunder Dragon deck? Quite simply, it is because it is a little bit too slow. Traps in and of themselves, unless they are like combat traps or something like that, more so tech cards, do tend to be very slow. and can be Cosmic Cyclone and stuff like that, which does end up kind of making it harder to use, right? Plus, we already do have the Thunder Dragon Duo, which allows us to special summon a lot of cards. We have Thunder Dragon Duo, we have, you know, the tuners as well to synchro summon. We have Thunder Dragon Hawk, we have Thunder Dragon Roar, and all of these other ways in order to special summon our monsters onto the field, as well as we can still do our normal summon to get cards onto the field. And so overall, this card in and of itself isn't too great. However, if you do want to play it, just take out one of your tech cards, right? You could take it on Lancia, you could put it in. You could put in Thunder Dragon Discharge as well. But, again, it's very similar where it's just like, it's a trap card, so it's a little bit slow. And I guess, like, when it's the core of, like, how you summon things, it's not, I guess it's not that big of a deal. If you want to play it, go ahead. If you don't, no need to, right? I'm playing it without because that's what I saw online. Someone was playing it without, and I said, that looks interesting. Now, we're also playing World Legacy Clash as well as one of our tech cards because it does banish your cards, which allows you to activate their effect. Plus, it can negate an attack and lower the attack of another card. Pretty useful if you ask me. Really good tech card overall. There's a reason it's limited. It's super good, right? Now, before we move on to the rest of the tech cards, I want to talk about the other core card of the deck, which is Thunder Dragon Duo. This is your boss monster. It can be boosted up to about 3,100 to about 3,600 within one turn to make it extremely powerful. Now, I run 2 because I don't want to have, you know, to mill 1 and then all of a sudden not have the ability to special summon it onto the field for whatever reason. So I run 2. You can just run 1 if you so chose. That also works, but I prefer having the 2. Now, this card is searchable. You can search it with something like Dragon Dark, or you can special summon it from the graveyard with your Thunder Dragon Hawk, which is pretty useful. And then you can also search it with your Gold Sarcophagus, right? Now, Plague Spreader Zombie can just return itself to the field pretty easily. You return a card. You return one card in your hand to the top of the deck. Then you special summon this card. Really good for synchro summoning. Watt Fox, basically, you set this card, or you play this card, and if it gets destroyed by an opponent's card, your opponent can't activate anything else, can't special summon. They can still normal summon, but they can't activate any other effects. Pretty good. You'll see that actually, I think you'll see that come up in one of the replays. Then obviously we are running That Grass Looks Greener to mill a bunch of cards. Milling cards like Thunder Dragon Matrix, Thunder Dragon Dark, Roar, Hawk, all pretty good. Getting Plague Spreader into the grave is better because then you don't have to waste your normal summon on that, and you can normal tribute summon for one of your other Dragon Hawks or something like that, right? And then with Thunder Dragon Matrix, this is also a hand trap boost. So, quick effect, you can discard this card to target a Thunder type monster you control. It gains 500 attack. Then, if this card is banished or on the field and is sent to the graveyard, you can add another Thunder Dragon Matrix from your deck to your hand. So, it does have a, like, replacement effect, right? A floating effect kind of thing, but into your hand, which is really good. And with Thunder Dragon Duo, what happens is you can discard this card to target Thunder Dragon Duo to boost it up by 500, making it 3,300, which will activate this Thunder Dragon Duo's effect, which is once per turn. If a monster effect is activated in the hand, this card gains 300 attack until the end of the turn, making it all the way up to a 3,600 attack, which can beat over most things. Not everything, but most things, right? And with, you know, at least a fair amount of damage given to them as well. Now, the way you summon this is you banish a light monster and a dark monster from your graveyard, right? There are quite a few light monsters and dark monsters that we play. Thunder Dragon Dark, Thunder Dragon Roar, and Plague Spreader are all, as well as Thunder Dragon Duo himself, are all dark monsters. Everything else that is a monster is light, right? Plenty of options. If you activate Grass That's Greener, you're going to be able to summon your Thunder Dragon Duo. Now, with all of that, you have Lancia. Send it from your hand during your opponent's turn to prevent the banishing of cards. Pretty useful. This guy, Vajra, if you're being attacked directly, you can special summon this card, but you destroy all of your back row. It is pretty good, though. It is pretty useful. I did use it several times to protect myself. I don't know if you'll see it in any of the replays, but I did use it several times to actually end up protecting myself, and then I would chain something like Wall of Disruption to it, so that while my back row was technically destroyed, it would still go through, protecting my Vajra, or, you know, just at least keeping the card on the field, right? Then for the Synchro Monsters, the big one that you want to look at is trying to get a Black Rose Dragon out, because that one will wipe the field, which is pretty good for you, right? You special summon your Dragon Dark using Hawk's effect or using Dragon Roar's effect, something like that. Special summon this guy. Special summon your Plague Spreader by returning a card to the top of the deck. Right, there you go. Synchro summon into your Black Rose Dragon, still having the ability to normal summon and, you know, activate other effects if need be, wiping the field, making it pretty easy for you to follow up. Then we also have things like Stardust Dragon, Stardust Spark Dragon, preventing destruction, negating effects, stuff like that. Scrap Dragon, pop a card on your field, pop a card on their field. Really good to just kind of destroy any pesky cards. Running Red Dragon Archfiend as well, just for that extra 3,000, you know, solid boost. And the fact that it can destroy defense position monsters pretty effectively. So, you know, if there is a Cocytus, you can just swing in, destroy it. And then, last but not least, Samurai Destroyer. Swing in with Samurai Destroyer, negate effects, pretty good. So, this card, Wall of Disruption, could be anything. You could run any of these tech cards that you want, right? You could run Floodgates, you could run Treacherous, you could run Enemy Control. Well, actually, you probably wouldn't want to do that because you do want World Legacy Clash. You could run Cosmic Cyclone if you so chose. You could run any of these back row cards. Whatever you have, that's good, right? So, overall, that's the deck. Let's hop into some replays real quick. Alright guys, welcome back. This time, we are going to rank up with this duel against a Yami Yugi, who is playing a 23-card deck, I believe, which means that our Grass That's Greener that we are going to activate here isn't going to be nearly as effective, and we do happen to not really get the best mill. We mill 2 Gold Sarcophagi and a Wall of Disruption, but we do happen to mill a Dark and 2 Lights, while having a Thunder Dragon Duo within our hand. Pretty good. Then we're going to Gold Sark. We are going to Gold Sark a Dragon Dark. Add up the Dragon Hawk to summon the Dragon Dark. Then we are going to Dragon Roar to grab up the Dragon Matrix that we had within the grave. Then we're going to swing in with our Thunder Dragon Dark and see that it's a Flip-Flop Frog, returning our Dragon Roar, or sorry, our Dragon Duo to the hand. Now that's okay, because we can still summon him, seeing as how we have a Light and a Dark within the grave still. Because last time we banished a Roar and the Vajra, now we can banish the Hawk and the Dragon Duo. Now he swings in with his Dragon Spirit of White. Interestingly enough, this is a Blue Eyes deck, I guess. Anyway, he activates our Baggy Sleeves. Baggy Sleeves grab up 2 cards. We don't only grab up 1 that really is useful. Since Grass That's Greener, we actually have less cards than him already, so that's fine. Then we activate our Dragon Hawk to summon our Dragon Roar. Then we activate our Dragon Duo to banish 2 cards to grab up the Dragon Duo onto the field. Then we draw our since we banished our Dragon Dark, we are able to grab up our Dragon Matrix, our second one. Then we activate, or we normal summon our Plague Spreader Zombie in order to Synchro summon up our Spark Dragon. Then we are going to swing in after boosting to 3600 with our Dragon Matrix. Now, one thing I want you to know is the card that is targeted with this effect is permanently boosted by 500. So this will go down by 300 since his effect only lasts for the turn. It will actually only return to 3300 rather than the 2800, which is super useful. That means you get a permanent boost, which means boosting with your Dragon Matrix is very, very useful, right? Our Dragon Dark returns to the hand after we destroy all of the cards there. Then the card that the second effect activates, which says once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can target one of your banished cards, place it on the top or bottom of the deck. I placed it on top because I wanted to grab back the Dragon Hawk, I believe. So now we can activate the Dragon Hawk to summon our Dragon Roar. Then we activate Dragon Dark to send it to the grave. That's pretty useful. Then we swing in and get destroyed by Raikou Lightsworn Hunter, which flips, destroys a target, and then sends 3 cards to the graveyard. Then we boost up, swing in. After he activates his Keeper of the Shrine and we swing in with our Dragon Roar, we swing in after boosting up with our Dragon Matrix, with our Dragon Duo for 4100 attack. Pretty fun. I really like Thunder Dragons. Let's hop into the next duel. Alright guys, welcome back. So this time we are facing up against Seto Kaiba from Dark Side of Dimensions. And we're going to go first. We activate our Gold Sark to send the Dragon Dark to grab up the Dragon Roar. Then we are going to activate Dragon Roar to grab up the Dragon Dark. Then we are going to activate Dragon Hawk to summon up the Dragon Roar. And then we are going to set a Wall of Disruption. During his turn, we are going to send a Dragon Dark to grab up a Dragon Dark so that we have it in the grave. We grab up our grass that looks greener, send a whole bunch of cards. He's going to activate his Hollowed Life Barrier, which means that this turn we are not going to be able to deal any damage to him, and he was able to send his White Stone of the Ancients to the graveyard. Now our mill was pretty good. We did happen to mill a Plague Spreader Zombie as well as quite a few other light cards and a Dragon Dark. Pretty useful. So we're going to return the Thunder Dragon Dark to the top of the deck. Then we are going to play our Plague Spreader Zombie. Then we are going to Synchro Summon into the Scrap Dragon. Also, we are going to activate the effect of Thunder Dragon Roar to Synchro, or to Special Summon the Thunder Dragon Hawk back onto the field. We used the Thunder Dragon Roar and the Plague Spreader Zombie to Synchro Summon. So that's how we got the Hawk onto the field, which is now currently in our hand. We did pop the 2 cards. We popped his Flamevel Guard, which I don't know why he's running that. And we also popped a Wall of Disruption. So, there we go. Then he summons his Blue Eyes White Dragon, summoning that to the field using the White Stone of the Ancients effect. Then he goes for Ryoku, which is interesting, but he deals 3,000 damage. We're still alive, and we are going to activate our Baggy Sleeves, and we do have a follow-up play. We have a Watt Fox now within our hand, which is pretty dope. We Thunder Dragon Dark, sending it to the grave. We actually... Here's the thing. I misplayed pretty hard here, because I didn't read what this card does, which is why I'm explaining it to you guys. You can only use one Thunder Dragon Matrix effect per turn, and only once that turn. Meaning, this is not a soft once per turn, whereas you can only use that card's effect. It means any other Thunder Dragon Matrix cards, you can only use it once that turn. I think it's very similar to these guys' effects, where you can only use one of the effects and only once that turn. But I didn't read that. I figured you could double boost. Can't do that. So what I should have done is I should have played the Thunder Dragon Roar into attack position, boosted up to 29, and then ended the turn with the Watt Fox set. He alternative evolutions or something like that, pops a card, right? Doesn't really matter what he does. We'll just go on from there, but that way, if he did decide to swing into our Thunder Dragon Roar, we would have been able to boost up the next turn during his turn in order to be above the 3,000 threshold, taking him out, basically. We didn't end up doing that. We swung in, which actually ended up being pretty good for us because we got a Thunder Dragon Roar onto the field, which went back to our hand, which we can use to grab up a Hawk as well. He's going to Alternative Evolution, pop our Watt Fox, preventing him from doing anything else, basically. We activate Baggy Sleeves as well to grab up a Gold Sark to banish the Dragon Dark. Grab up Duo. Now we also have a Lancia within our hand, which is pretty good. We're going to Dragon Hawk to grab up the... Dragon Roar to grab up the Dragon Hawk into the Dragon Roar. Then boost up with... then summon our Dragon Duo, boost up with the Dragon Matrix, and swing in. And then we banish the Dragon Matrix to grab up another Dragon Dragon Duo, and then swing in for another 2,400 with our Dragon Roar. Then he grabs up his Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, shows that he has another Blue Eyes within the hand, activates his Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, pops our Dragon Duo, but guess what? That is not going to matter because we are able to special summon our second Dragon Duo. This is why I like playing two. Yes, you can recycle the Dragon Duo, but it's easier just to search for another one. We're going to activate all these effects, ultimately just to grab up another Dragon Matrix, right? Grab up the Matrix, Synchro Summon for a Spark Dragon. Now here's another part where I misplayed. Had I played this into attack position, we would have had lethal. Since I didn't play it into attack position, I'm a fool, and we're only going to be able to do 600 damage instead of the 1,000 needed to actually end the duel. But it ultimately won't matter because he has nothing left within the tank, and he surrenders. So, should have played this into attack position to swing in for lethal, at least making him play a Kite Roid or a Sphere Karibo or something like that to prevent himself from dying. But ultimately, it did work. We did win. You can also use this card to prevent the destruction, and that's why I did play it into defense position, because I was like, well, I don't want him to swing into this card and then also have like a pop with his Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Ultimately, he didn't have anything, which was lucky for us. Let's hop into the last duel. 1 second. Alright guys, here we go. This time we are facing off against Yami Yugi, and we get to go first again, and we are going to prevent that rank up. Now, quickly looking at his cards, he is using Spell Specialist with a 25 card deck, which is rather interesting, but that means our mill won't be as effective. However, it was extremely effective because we happened to mill 2 Darks in a Thunder Dragon Dark and a Thunder Dragon Roar, and 2 Lights with a Watt Fox and a Dragon Matrix, which was insanely good. And we did open up with a double Gold Sark, which is also pretty good. Because double Gold Sark means you can banish a Dark to grab up a card, and you can banish a Roar to special summon a card onto the field. Normally, if you don't have other if you have other plays to go with, then grabbing up the Hawk for a second or for a follow-up play on your next turn is probably your best option with banishing Roar. If you don't have other plays, something that you can use to tribute off of or something like that, or that you can synchro summon with, or you know, what have you, is probably a better option there. Now, overall, we did have a play. We were able to summon our Thunder Dragon Duo on turn 1. Normally, that's not what you want to do, but that was the play that we had to go for. It was our strongest move, so that's what we did. We're playing up against Gold Castle of Stromberg, which means most of the time we're not going to be doing a whole lot. Gold Sark's ticking away. We're going to activate our Dragon Hawk in order to summon our Dragon Roar, in order to tribute for our Dragon Dark and set it, which activates the Dragon Roar's effect to special summon a Dragon Matrix onto the field to add it to our hand during the next turn. Right now we can't fight because of this card. It says don't fight, basically. It banishes 10 cards, and then he activates his Lava Golem, special summoning it onto our side of the field, activating our Dragon Dark, allowing us to grab up our second Dragon Duo. That's 2 times that having a second Dragon Duo is useful, so that's why I like having it. Okay, cool. Lava Golem activates, Gold Sark activates, grabbing up our Dragon Dark. We tribute for the Dragon Dark and then set the Wall of Disruption and the Dragon Dark. He can no longer supply the 10 cards to banish for his Golden Castle of Stromberg, so it has to be destroyed. Then he Synchro Summons for a Star Eater, which I thought was rather interesting, but that is 3,200, which is pretty difficult to beat over, right? And he does have a set card, which we don't know what it is. It hasn't activated anything, so it's probably something like a Drowning Mirror Force or a Wall of Disruption. Keep that in mind. So, here we go. Activate Dragon Hawk to summon up our Dragon Duo. Yes, you can do that. Absolutely insane. It is recyclable, but now we have 2 of them on the field, which is very important, and you will see why. Dragon Hawk, discard to grab up the Dragon Matrix. Dragon Matrix is also going to be used to boost up. Then everything is boosted up. Then he activates a World Legacy Clash. That's what it was. That's why there was nothing there, because we didn't have any monsters for him to activate it on. There was no timing or anything like that until we had played monsters. I actually thought it was a Treacherous for a second, but no. World Legacy Clash. Still really good. Right now, our Dragon Duo is down to 100. He activates Glass Slippers on to our Dragon Duo. Not good. So now this Dragon Duo is also less. Now, if this attack goes through, we lose. So what we are going to do is we are going to boost it up with our Thunder Dragon Matrix up to 900, because the boost 500 from this and 300 from its own effect, boosting it up to 900, as well as boosting this one up to 2100. Now, Gren Maju is still an issue because it is 4000. Well, guess what? We activate a little thing called Wall of Disruption, saving us. Really good defensive play right there. Activating the Dragon Matrix to boost up both the cards, as well as activating the Wall of Disruption. Glass Slippers goes away. He activates our Baggy Sleeves, which is super useful here. Watt Fox, we're going to World Legacy Clash it to the 2 new cards that we just drew. We're going to banish the Watt Fox in order to decrease the attack of Gren Maju so that we can summon our Vajra. Now, Vajra, this is why it's so good, is because 1800 on the field that can special summon from the hand through a direct attack. That is insanely useful, right? So, we activate it, we special summon it, and then all of a sudden, these 2 cards can't get over us because of the Wall of Disruption and the World Legacy Clash that we happened to play. Incredibly useful, saved our butt right there. So now we are going to Synchro Summon into Samurai Destroyer and swing in for 1000 damage, winning that duel that we had no right to win. Through a Gren Maju and through a Star Eater, both insanely powerful beaters, right? But they don't really have anything going for them, right? Now, here's the thing. He played it pretty smartly. He attacked in first with his Star Eater, meaning that we had to boost up our card first and foremost with our Thunder Dragon Matrix. That's why I did that first, because Star Eater would have been unaffected by Wall of Disruption when it attacks, right? If this card attacks, it is unaffected by other card effects until the end of the damage step, right? So it wouldn't have been affected by the Wall of Disruption. That's why we boosted first. Then we activated Wall of Disruption, decreasing both of them, allowing us to actually get over them pretty effectively. So that's why we did it in that order, rather than just activating the Wall of Disruption, because Star Eater still would have killed us, right? So there you go. Really good defensive play there. That's why we run some things like the Synchro Monsters, running Samurai Destroyer and stuff like that. Samurai Destroyer, I mean, that probably was like a Wall of Disruption, right? In the back line, able to negate that as we swung in. So, there you go. There's the deck. Let's hop into the deck list one more time so that I can show you and kind of end this episode. 1 second. Alright, so returning to this deck real quick. Obviously, it's a pretty good deck. It's really fun. But Thunder Dragons aren't exactly the most top tier. If you enjoy playing big brain decks that aren't exactly the meta, and you like winning with them, and you like abusing things that are still really strong, play this deck, right? It's strong, non-meta, not a top tier deck, but it is still really fun, and it allows you to use your big brains that I know you guys have, right? So there you go. Here is the core of the deck, right? And then obviously whatever other cards that you want, whatever other tech cards that you want, use them. Use 3 Dragonhawks if you can. The double dragon duo is up to you. I certainly prefer it. But there you go. That's the main majority of the deck. Plague Spreader Zombie, very, very useful. Highly recommend it. But yeah, overall, this is how I run the deck. Hope that you guys did indeed enjoy this episode. If you did, a like is very much so appreciated. And if you want to see more content like this, as well as more abusing that grass looks greener, just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.